A mum was horrified after police turned up at her door, having been called out because her two children, aged 2 and 5, were playing naked in a paddling pool in the back garden. Now, they'd received an anonymous tip-off from someone concerned for the kids' welfare. So, of course, when the officers arrived, the children were just found to be playing, and the police confirmed that there were no welfare concerns. But taking it away from that story, would you be concerned about letting your children naked in the garden? Would you be thinking, oh, there's someone's going to complain, maybe it's not right? Is that a bit of a story? I mean, this mum obviously had a bit of a shock when 2 police officers turned up because she let it happen.
It's so sad, isn't it? Because, I mean, my children always played in the garden naked and around the house and everything. But now I'm sort of thinking, because the world seems to have changed so much, we seem to be so afraid of everything. And I do have people overlooking my garden now, and if I had my time again now, would I be worried about my children being out in the garden naked because somebody might look at them? But then what we're doing is we're sexualising children. We're saying that a child being naked is somehow a sexual being, and I think that we've got so confused with what's right and wrong. I actually feel sorry for humanity. I think the thing is, if there were to be a sexual predator, God forbid, or a paedophile living near you and they're looking at your child, they don't have to be naked for that to happen.
Yeah. And also, we know that there are
tiny
parts of that. We know there are very sick people in society, but that's like a 0.00 whatever % of the society, and it really upsets me that the rest of us, i.e. millions of right-thinking people, have to alter our behaviour because of that tiny percentage, you know? And I mean, I think the police were right. I think if somebody rang and said that they're concerned about the welfare, of course the police have to turn up and investigate because it might be a valid... But, you know, immediately they thought, well, it's 2 kids playing in a paddling pool, and they left. What a waste of their time. And you don't know whether that neighbour had something against those neighbours or whether there was... You know, you have no idea. But I just think, you know, it is sad. And I remember years ago, one of my daughters was running around in the garden, you know, with the hose and didn't have her clothes on, and she had a friend round, and they were very young, and they took all their clothes off and they were playing in the hose. And Gary had been out at work, and he came in, and he wouldn't care about Grace particularly, our youngest, but he went, her friend hasn't got any clothes on. And he completely backed away and he went, make her put some clothes on. I can't be in the house with that going on, because he thought people will judge him.
So awful.
And it's really sad,
isn't it, that they have to think in those terms all the time, that they could be perceived as being weird if there's a naked child in front of them.
Would Mark feel like that as well?
Probably, yeah. I think that men have to be really aware of that, don't they? They have to be... I mean, would you give one of your children's friends a lift home on their own? And I just think, is there no way we can get back to just having some trust? I mean, it's crazy in schools, you know, when my sister's... You know, a school that my sister worked in years ago, this little girl came up to her and she was, like, crying. She was just big tears rolling down. I've been at the friend bus stop and nobody will be my friend and I'm really sad. And, you know, my sister said her heart just broke. She immediately scooped her up, put her on the lap, and the other teachers ran over. No, put the child down. You can't hold the child.
Oh, no, it's
you
so
can't.
awful.
Imagine being somebody in childcare and having to think you've got that shadow of suspicion over you the whole time.
Yeah. Would you felt like that, Brendan, when yours were little?
I am a kind of person that, you know, I don't go on the beach naked, I won't do this naked. If I'm in my back garden, as long as my walls are high and nobody's looking in, then, you know, then my children let them do...
Why would your walls have to be high? Would that be because you would be worried about what kind of person would look in them, or because you think
I'm
it's
not worried
distasteful?
No, I just wouldn't want my children showing their bodies because I wouldn't show my body. So that's why I'd have the walls.
Right.
I wouldn't actually be thinking about somebody looking in. Yeah. I'm not at that point.
We do still in this culture have a huge problem with nudity, don't we?
Yeah, we do.
I mean, the Germans, the Swedes, the French, they all think we're completely mad.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you've ever had any friends from any of those countries. You'll be making a coffee and they take their clothes off.
I love them
If you go abroad, you know, to Spain or France or anywhere, all the kids are playing naked on the beach.
And women will get a towel and dry themselves like that right in front of you, and you're like, oh my God, I'm dying.
Yeah, that's a step too far.
It's good though, isn't it? It's good.
I'd love to be like that.
Me too.
It won't ever be for me.